all these songs have such a good, wholesome kind of thing. And I guess it's kind of goes with the farm thing too,
well,
right?
yeah, with me, what I love about the farm tour thing is it gives me, to that opportunity to like when you think of like Southern Gentlemen and say that.
Yeah.
And it gives me a chance to kind of go with my main full-length albums. You know, man, I can try new sounds and try stuff that some people may really not appreciate. But I mean, I still, when I make my albums, I still have to feel like I got to try new stuff. I think, and I know you've been there too, where you feel like, man, if you go in with the same guitar sounds for every album, it's not going to play out well for you.
Yeah.
But what I love about the farm tour is like, man, it gives me freedom to like, man, if I want to do some acoustic tracks down the road, just me and a guitar, if I want to, you know, it's kind of the sky's the limit. It gets me away and it lets me kind of go back to a rural type of theme too. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what it'll morph into through the years. I just, you know, it's kind of a byproduct of spring break, you know, when I used to do those crazy spring break albums. And we never overthought those. And, you know, we cut some really fun music on those things, but then we cut some stuff I go back and listen and I'm like, what was I thinking on that? But, you know, I think if you can remove yourself from overthinking everything, that's a good thing as an artist. So
just trying to have a little fun.
Just trying not to overthink it. And the fans, at the end of the day, the fans will let you know based on their support if it's good or not.
Yeah. And I think it's all like, you got to be reading Bob Levitz and the way he is supporting you it really makes me smile.
You know what's funny is Bob, he has...
Because that's not his way. I mean, his way is to, what are you doing? What are you thinking? You know, and country's this or that or whatever. But he's totally embraced and a lot on your back. You know, the fact that everybody's trying so freaking hard and everything's so postured and everybody's posing so hard in the pop world and everything. And he loves the fact, you know, your LA show that he went to, you know, he did this whole article. Oh man, this guy is trying to have a little fun out here. And I went, you know, a big time critic that's read by everybody finally gets it. I've been wanting somebody to say that for so long. It's got to make you feel good.
It feels great. And I think I think that's the way you need to watch a show. You know, I've had critics at shows, they watch a 2-hour show and they bring up 4 times that I was pitchy. I'm like, man, I challenge anybody to come watch a 2-hour show and a singer sing it perfectly the whole time. I mean, if I have to go up there and I have to think about delivering the live vocal performance of the year every night, then I am not going to be having fun up there. I always enjoy, you know what, if you go, Luke Bryan's show was this, and you know what, I didn't like this part of the show, and when he did this, it was a little weird, but when he did this, I liked it. But the fans were having a blast.
Broad stroke. Why do people go to your shows?
Well, that's, I think, to have a blast, to get away from criticizing anything. You know, they don't have to criticize themselves. And like I said, I always appreciate a critic that references what the fans were doing. You know, it's not about it is about what I'm doing, but it's more about, well, what were the fans doing?
Yeah.
Were they into it or not? So
how many fans are worried about if you're singing it, dude? How many of them care?
What's funny, and I know you've been there, I mean, when I read a fan's poster, I blank on my words. I cannot physically read like if somebody says, drove 7 hours to see your show, dream come true. If I read that, my words leave my head, and I'll just quit singing and just wait till they come back. And you know what? I've never had anybody on any of my socials reference me not singing two lines of my songs.
Remember the words, yeah.
Because, man, I think when you start honing in on trying to be so perfect up there, you're sacrificing the enjoyment of it.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about the farm thing, because I raise beef cattle, and I go to a lot of these youth things. Man, I swear nothing. There's only a few things in this world. Traumatic events don't make me cry. But man, when I see a little blonde-headed girl who's half as big as a cow that she's got a hold of a lead, walking it around a corral, just wrestling that sucker around in circles because she wants to show it so good, and she's worked all day washing that cow. Man, I have tears running out of my eyes.
It's a magical thing that the farm life that's out there.
Yeah.
I think. Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that whole lifestyle is something that's so important to the fabric of America. What do you think's the biggest challenge for farmers out there now? What have you learned out there doing these shows?
I think bringing awareness to where things come from. I mean, I think it's important for my boys to understand, guys, when you're eating, Frosted Flakes in the morning, you need to understand how that come together. When you're eating some peanut butter, when you're making a turkey sandwich, stuff like that. But I think the biggest thing with farmers is, you can get real critical about it. I mean, when you look at the diesel prices and the price, it's simple math. The price of a bushel of corn stays the same, but the price to make it goes up. Therefore, they have to double how much they plant, and they have to go rent up more land. It's sad when I see these farmers that, used to could farm them 500 acres. They could have them one or two tractors and have one guy helping them. I mean, now for them to make, and they would make them $60,000 to $90,000 a year with their 500 acres and live a great life. Now they have to go try to borrow more money to lease more land because they can't. I think there's a lot of challenges for farmers. We're competing with the global market. Now when the price of cotton in China is I sound like Donald Trump here.
What are those shows like compared to your regular shows? Are they any different?
Man, they're different because, man, we're outside, we're in a field, it's the fall is in the air, there's dust everywhere. People are it's a fun vibe, man. I grew up as a kid, man. We'd rent out a tractor shed. We'd pull some tractors out and sweep the floor and back a flatbed in and have somebody sit up at the road, with a box of cash taking in, put posters out, and we'd do an old farm party, tractor shed or whatever. Yeah. So this is kind of a glorified version of that, and it keeps things real, keeps things in perspective. I'll have, at the end of the night, I'll have sinus infections because I'm out there breathing. Sure. And hey, I'm not in my nice little polished arena.
You got to look at the schedule and go, okay, when am I playing Madison Square Garden? Because this is going to take me down.
I think what I love about it is, when I have like a local law enforcement guy walk up to me and go, man, thanks for coming to our town. Because I always worry about being an inconvenience for them. But they're like, hey, man, because of you, I get to make a little overtime this week. And,
great.
And I hope it's that way. I hope you always want the local community to enjoy it, and you want the land. I want the landowner to feel like we enhanced his farm. I don't want to leave and they're like, yeah, Luke Bryan came in and rutted up my hayfield and left it. So we work with the with the farm owners to try to make sure. Sometimes they've had these old roads that they've been wanting to get graveled for years, and we'll come in there and gravel it just because we know we're gonna have a lot of traffic on it, and they'll hopefully appreciate that.
Awesome.
So, but it's fun on all levels.
What's the best thing you're doing for your kids right now?
The best thing I'm doing for the kids, well, Bo, what's funny is, so I built a bus bay
Yeah,
at my farm, so
got one of those.
my tour bus can live at my farm, which is, it's a big deal. I know you remember that transition, because now when I go out to tour, all I got to do is walk down to the bus barn, hop on the bus, go to bed, and we take off in the night. Well, my bus driver is very mad at me because I turned it into a bus bay / batting cage.
Nice.
So now we have a batting cage, and the boys, every afternoon we go in there and I'll fire the batting cage up, and I'll set my iPhone up, put their swing on slow-mo. We'll dissect their swing.
Awesome.
And Bo, my 8-year-old, he just started where they're not coach pitching anymore.
Oh.
They are live pitching. So he's wanting to be a better pitcher. So now he wants me to work with him. But as far as the best thing I'm doing for them is just trying to throw a lot of things at them. Sports, the outdoors, fishing, and
Y'all go play outside.
Y'all, hey, put them iPads down. I tell them one day I'm gonna pick those iPads up and just throw them out in the lake. So, but they're having fun with life.
So your song "Move," what a groove. You glad you got something you can really dance to again, huh?
Man, I tell people, like I said, I'll always. I think of people are like, well, kind of it move. Move is a honky tonk song to me. You made a career out of making honky tonk songs.
Yeah.
I think it's our duty as country music artists to every now and then throw one of those honky tonk songs in there where it's a jukebox song. Let's some. I'll never want to give up on line dance, and I know it's probably that ship has sailed, but. I still hope that there's some old honky tonks out there where people are line dancing and polishing belt buckles and all that, and spinning around, and I feel like Move is certainly it's kind of like Mama Don't Get Dressed Up for Nothing. It's hey, let's get together, let's dance.
If they can't line dance, they'll be on the floor. Partner, thanks for coming in.
Hey, thank you.
Great to see you, man.
Good to see you.